Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Friday. So, word on the street is the Supreme Court on February 19th is going to hear Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Arizona votes. That's huge. Coincidences? Okay, so Mike Lindell comes out with all of this voter evidence, right? That cannot be ignored. The same day that Time says, oh yeah, there's a shadow government. Yeah, they cheated. Of course they cheated. Yeah, but we did it for the good of the country, so it's fine, right? So that's what the left's take is. The right's like, here's this that you wouldn't listen to. You wouldn't listen to any of this from us. And the same day this happens, the Supreme Court says, we're going to hear this, right? So exciting times. So February 19th will be the Supreme Court. There's no way to ignore this evidence. They have everything traced from the firewalls, computers, votes. The one that stood out to me was the Maricopa County, 66,000 people under the age of 18 voted. Another statistic, 93% of the votes, like the paper ballots, were changed. 93%. And all of them were Biden. All of them? Really? There wasn't one Trump? I mean, they could have covered their tracks a little better, but now Time says, well, they don't care. Yeah, we cheated. So, I mean, come on. The amount of lunacy that has went on, the amount of just sheer, they don't care. They want to keep their hedge funds in power. They're fixing to see a side of the regular person, like if we're not heard, because this man who he always comes out and talks about constitutional law said the country is in battered wife syndrome right now, right? They've been beaten up and beaten up and beaten up. Nobody listens. Nobody does anything. And eventually, if that wife is battered enough, she snaps, right? And she comes back and she's like, okay, this is enough. So he's right. He is right. We've been called names. We've been pushed around. You're not allowed to say this. You're not allowed to think this. You're a racist. You're blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Now, everything that we've said, everything that we've thought, and everything President Trump said is accurate. It's all accurate, which we knew. But there's a lot of the country that doesn't. There's a lot of the country who thinks that this was all made up. Can you imagine being that person? So now we're not going to lie anymore. We're just going to say, well, yeah, we cheated, but it had to be done for us to keep our power. The nerve of these people thinking that they can just push agendas, right? We're fixing to see some things change. I really, really believe that because Sidney Powell, Lin Wood, Mike Lindell, Donald Trump's family at 107, all of these people that we were like, God, I hope they're right. I think they're right. And I think by March, we're not going to have this fake Biden presidency because you will never get me to believe that Biden is the president. You'll never get me to believe that this wasn't stopped before it started and that this is kind of a show going on because it just doesn't make sense, right? When common sense and reality become harder to believe than conspiracy theories, you have to ask yourself, I wonder how many conspiracy theories are actually conspiracy theories. I wonder how many of these things are true. And I'm sure that there are a lot of things out there that aren't true, but government cover-ups, that's been happening far too long in our government. It's been happening far too long to the people. And now they're trying to remove religion, Christ. Come on. That's just insane. That's insanity. That should show you what kind of a program that we have going in our country. Now, if a baby is aborted, they don't even have to save the baby. They can let it lay there and die because the federal government let that bill not pass yesterday that the babies had to be saved. Come on now. What are we doing? We're just mass genocide now? We live in America. And it has to be stopped. So we need to shout to the rooftops to whoever will listen. Because what's going on is they're slowly taking our freedom. They're slowly taking our rights. And they have for years and years and years. We need more people to wake up to it. We need it to not be allowed. And unfortunately, that does mean that you're going to be called bad names. It does mean that you are going to be looked at as a threat. You're not a threat. And you have to remember that. No amount of bullying that they come, through with saying, oh, well, Bank of America let whoever bought anything in DC, whenever the Capitol thing happened, the January 6th thing, they gave all that information to the FBI. So if you, like Tucker said last night, if you bought a muffin, they questioned you. Someone lost their job over this and didn't even do anything illegal. This is insanity. So no matter how much they say things, no matter how many times that they say, okay, this is domestic terrorism, this is this, that doesn't make it true. That doesn't make it true. And we have to hold on to what we believe in. We have to. It is more important now than ever. If you grew up in a church of any kind, you knew that one day Christians were going to be persecuted. One day it was going to happen, right? Evil would become good and good would become evil. There's going to be a lot of people who really struggle with this. There's going to be a lot of people who are just absolutely broken with what's happening. So here's what we do. We continue to pray about it. And no matter who you follow, remember that whoever we follow has to have that divine with them, right? If God is not leading someone, we do not follow them. If they are not constantly quoting at you, well, my spiritual advisors are helping me. Here's the Bible verse. Here's this. Here's this. As long as God is in charge, I don't worry about any of it, right? All of these people saying that they've got one up on us and they're in the government, whatever, it doesn't really matter, because in the actual end, whenever it's all said and done, God wins. The end is already planned out. So we have nothing to worry about at all. If you haven't looked at Kim Clement's prophecies, you really should. It's very interesting. So I would go look that up. 4 things that I tell you to look up: Kim Clement, Mike Lindell. So he's got a documentary that came out today. You can see it on OAN or Right Side Broadcasting. Done with Newsmax. Absolutely done with Newsmax. They have been tied to the Clinton Foundation. They're gone. They're gone. I never really watched them anyway. So Mike Lindell's thing, Kim Clement's prophecies, and there's breakdowns of it. Different people have done different breakdowns. The Time article that basically says, oh, well, yeah, of course there was a shadow government. Of course we cheated. Come on, guys. We did it because we had to. And then the 4th thing would be the conservative, constitutional guy who gets on and he talks about the law. I've got all of that shared on my channel on Telegram. If you're not on that, I can drop the link to it for the channel. And here's the thing. Now is when we need to pray, because it's never too late. Like I've heard all these people say, it's never too late. I mean, I'm not even convinced Joe Biden was inaugurated. I'm not even convinced that DC is a part of the United States anymore. I'm not convinced of anything, because they have used so much to twist their agenda. They've used so much to change the mind of the left and the people who bought into it with the media. The media, man, I tell you what, I hope those people pray for their own souls that night. I've been praying for them, because they led a lot of people really astray, and that's terrible. I mean, that's terrible. You really can't do anything worse in my mind, and probably in God's. So here's where we sit today. We're in a way better position than we were yesterday. I still think everyone was right about it. All started, probably 1st of January. Trump said 1st of January, things are happening. You just won't know what it is. And I think it's going to continue to happen. And I think by the summer, honestly, Trump's going to be back in power, and we're not going to have to worry about any of this, because he's a smart man. So it doesn't matter if you love him or hate him. It matters what's right and wrong. What's right and wrong. So we can't ever forget that. You guys have a fabulous weekend if I don't talk to you, and I will come back to you with more whenever it happens.